sales is not sales. Sales is service. If you can traffic information and gain attention, you have created oil. You've created the new gold rush, and that's what it is. It's learning to master that skill set and then deliver the value you have, and then people will gladly exchange their money for the value you obtain.
You said something that was key here. If you can traffic the information and gain attention.
And so don't sit there and try to charge someone $1,000 and you only invest $20 in something.
If I wanted to become a millionaire by 2025, this is what I would do. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. My name is Giles, and I help women entrepreneurs, coaches, and speakers refine their message so that they can build their seven-figure business and also scale it. Listen, I'm excited to share some great news with you today, and I have my husband here, Joshua Giles, and who do you help?
Yeah, so I help content creators create their way to wealth through funnels, through sales, marketing, ads, you name it. And so me and my wife collectively build seven-figure brands.
Absolutely. And listen, if we were to tell you how you can build and actually be like a millionaire by 2025 or start a business where you can be a millionaire, one of the things that we would absolutely say, number one, is join the online revolution.
That's right. Yep. So being in the online revolution is going to help you because everything is digital. Mm-hmm. And so when we look at Forbes' statement, and you're seeing it on the screen right now, that it's a $325 billion industry right now as we speak, not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. And it's expected to grow to $1 trillion by 2030. And so we look at the growth and what's about to happen. It's not too late, but you have to understand that if you want to be an early adopter in what's taking place, you can't wait, because if you wait too long, you're what they call a late adopter, and you miss out on everything. So imagine this. Imagine if you had the ability to invest in Apple or Amazon when it was in a garage. That $1,000 could be worth $100 million today. Absolutely. So when you look at industries and a shift and changes and new wineskins that are being created, although the economy may look very bad, most millionaires are created in a down economy, because what that means is innovation's coming forth. And when there's new innovation, there's new ideas, and millionaires are birthed. But you have to recognize the innovation is the digital landscape.
Absolutely. You have a lot of people right now who had brick and mortars, who are coaches, who are consultants, who are creating courses. Why? This is because they have something that they know that they can teach online, and they can help others get to where they were, right, in a fast, short, accelerated time period. So think about it for a second. What took, for example, Dan Locke, what took, for example, Mary Forleo, what took them years to achieve, all they have to do is go online and begin to target the right audience and teach them so that you can achieve that in a short, accelerated amount of time. Coaching, consulting, like I said, like as soon as we started getting into this realm, we started seeing how much easier it was to actually make an income.
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy, because when I hear people who are wealthy, who made their wealth years ago, talk about how hard it is for them to function in today's society, is because they don't have the skill of what creates wealth now.
My God.
And see, if I lived back then and I had to make an axe or a pitchfork, I don't like that stuff. I would probably be the one saying, I don't have the skill, but I have the skill of the digital age. And so when I see wealth creation done years ago by people who were in the industrial age, or another type of scenario where they made it in stocks or businesses or brick and mortars, and they succeeded, there's a new wineskin now. Right. And it's the digital space. And so it's never been easier to become a millionaire than it has been in history than right now, because of the information era. And so, and gain attention, you have created oil. You've created the new gold rush. And that's what it is. It's learning to master that skill set and then deliver the value you have, and then people will gladly exchange their money for the value you obtain.
You said something that was key here. If you can traffic the information and gain attention. You remember that one time we sat in a room with some entrepreneurs. They were really well-known entrepreneurs, but some of them, like you said, they were doing things the old school way.
Oh, yeah.
What we mean by old school way, y'all, is, for example, for speaking engagements, they thought all you have to do is go somewhere physically to speak, right?
Yep.
And then we started hearing how some of these wealthy people, y'all, we're talking millions here, several millions, and they were lost.
Yeah.
You remember that?
They were mad.
They were mad. They're like, how are these young people? Anyone can relate right now. How are these young people, 20, 17,
How are these little blanks making all this money? That's what they were saying. I was like, I'm like, wow, because they made their money in an old age. And I don't mean physical age, an old industry.
Old industry.
And those industries die off and things are constantly evolving. And see, if you're a business entrepreneur in general, your mindset should always know that everything is always evolving. Nothing stays the same. So if you have a good year, don't think it's always going to be in the same modality that got you that good year.
That's right.
What is the next year talking about? Those who ride the wave are the ones who succeed.
And this wave right now is the digital wave.
It is.
And it's only going to progress. If you think back and you look at the movies that we even watched, all the movies that were predicting that the AI was coming and how fast the information was going, now you look, we are in that age where not only is it AI, but you can build a business like today. We got people who are starting YouTube channels and are growing in 2 months to 30,000 followers. And at first it used to seem impossible. There was the information age, but with this digital age that we are in, it's the easiest time to start a business. So if number 2, you find your niche, your pond, like we were talking about earlier, of who you want to help, you could literally begin to craft your message so well that you reach your target audience online and those people start to listen to you, right?
Oh, that's it. So imagine this. So you need to find who you're called to serve. So when you feel the desire of man, I feel like I'm called to be an online entrepreneur, a coach, a speaker, an entrepreneur, a course creator, have membership model, whatever it is that you feel that you love the most, you first have to decide who you're called to serve, because if you try to serve everybody, you serve nobody, and your messaging will fall on dead ears. And so it takes an internal, pursuit to say, who am I called to serve? Because sales is not sales. Sales is service. And when you sell something, you're essentially serving somebody. And so if you don't find out who you're called to serve or have that mentality, you'll fizzle out very quickly, right? And so finding your pond, when it comes to the area of your expertise is really powerful, because this is what I love about that, is that if you can start to break down in your mind that it doesn't take but 1,000 people to pay you $1,000 and you're a millionaire.
Say that again.
1,000 people times $1,000 paying you, which is very simple, you've made $1 million. There's at least 1,000 people in this earth that is willing to pay you for the information you have.
Here's what's crazy about that. Sometimes we focus so much on to keep building and building and building the audience. And we think it's a large group of number, but in reality, it's really honing in.
Yes, honing in.
And once you get that clarity of what it is, then you can start to build, but now you're building the right way.
Exactly. That's so good, because, when you build the right way, because I've consulted for accounts that had millions of followers and had to tell them, you have no business. And they were like, what do you mean I have no business?
Y'all hear that? Millions of followers.
Millions of followers.
And they have no business.
Yeah.
All because you're speaking to the wrong person. You can have a small social account and literally make millions of dollars by honing in on the right message.
On the right message. There's a guy we know of in the fitness world, and I was a celebrity trainer, trained Major League Baseball, NFL, all these guys. But this guy knew marketing, and because he knew marketing, he only had about 17,000 followers, but he made $100 million. So you don't have to equate your follower base as I don't have 20 or 30,000 followers, no one's going to listen to me. No, you need a strong audience that are buyers, not tire kickers, or window shoppers.
Right.
And so your language and everything that you speak around bringing those people in, there's a science to it. And so you have to develop the skill in that science so that people are saying, I'm willing to exchange the money that I have for the value and information you have so that it can produce a result within them.
Listen, that's so good. And I've always been fond of getting the right, clear message across. And the reason is because I've noticed that all the successful entrepreneurs that I have researched, we've looked into, they've all known who they're exactly speaking to and what their I help statement is.
That's really good.
For example, with Russell, anyone can quote Russell and says like, you're only one funnel away.
Yeah, you're only one funnel away.
Russell built ClickFunnels and he knew why he built it, right? It was this aha moment for him. So you have to know, if you start studying all of these different entrepreneurs, you start seeing they're very clear on their mission.
Yep.
And once you get clear, the millions start following, and they start following because you have your ideal audience.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
So ideal audience, very key.
It creates authority.
Yeah, it does. Exactly. Especially within that space. And if you can carve out, you niche it down so much. So you start with more of a broad, I help statement, right? And then you have to hone in on the messaging, the pain points you solve. You have to hone in on the desires. Where do they want to be? So you're not always speaking to just the pain, but the transformation. People pay for transformation.
Yes.
They will gladly pay for speed, hand-holding, transformation. But you have to develop the offer around the transformation that they're looking for, and it has to be quantifiable, meaning I have to look at it and say, does it help me in status? Does it help me in wealth?
Come on.
Does it help me in my desires in life? Can I travel more? Can I be on vacations? Can I have more time freedom? What areas does that speak to? And if you can create an offer around all of those modalities, then people will be willing to pay not just $1,000, but $10,000, $25,000, $50,000 or more for the information you have to create that transformation within them.
I love that. Listen, we've had people who will literally call us and help, like asking for help and saying, can you help us get clear on this offer? Help us get clear on this idea. Listen, I'm that person. If you can help me do something that I cannot do by myself, if I know you have years of experience and you have had some type of success, I'm going to pay you for your expertise. You want to make millions in 2025? This is one of the fastest ways.
That's it.
Join the online revolution, y'all. Share your expertise. Know who you're speaking to. Build authority in that space. Get your messaging right. Get clear on it. And I'm telling you, you're going to attract your ideal client. Anything else?
Yeah, that's good because you need to, number one, pay for transformation.
Yeah.
People don't like to hear that, but the ones who are the 1%ers who actually make it and succeed pay for a transformation. See, it's a lie that you shouldn't have to pay to be in rooms, because literally the Bible says when you bring forth a gift, it can bring you before kings, right? A gift makes room for you. There you go. A lot of people are like, hey, what type of gift? It actually, literally, when you look at it, it's a monetary investment can bring you into specific rooms. Many of you paid to go to college. You paid for a transformation that college promised you, but guess what? College can't promise you that no more. 2024, 2025, colleges can't promise the transformation, and the average student is $120,000 in college debt, and they come out getting a job that's $38,000 to $40,000 a year. That ain't nothing. We can make that in a weekend. And you don't even need the education. So you pay people who have a skill, who can do it quicker, right? Learn what you need to learn and get to that point. And so if this is helping you, put in the comment right now what you're experiencing. What's your takeaway from this whole broadcast, right?
Yeah.
And really just tell us your thoughts, because it's phenomenal what's going on in the digital age.
It absolutely is. And I'm going to add to that. The Bible says, buy wisdom.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
Buy wisdom. We absolutely invested in ourselves this year in our business. And I'm telling you, it's like our mind, it almost felt like we were like doing cartwheels in our heads, because it felt like we turned upside down just so we can get everything right again.
Yep.
It helped us hone in on who we really want to talk to, who we really want to help, how we want to build, and just a whole rebranding has taken place. And we have started to see the acceleration
Oh,
happen.
absolutely.
It started to take place already.
Think of this. If you've never invested in something, you can't charge that.
Say it again.
Yeah, if you can't, let me tell you, if you haven't invested in anything, you're never going to be able to charge what you've never put your own skin in the game in.
That's right.
And so don't sit there and try to charge someone $1,000 and you only invest $20 in something.
Absolutely.
So we leveled up our game, and I remember people paying me 10 grand or more, and I would turn it down because I'm like, that's not enough. I know my value and what I can bring, and as I started to learn that, I knew that my value was higher. I could charge more. And so as we paid for more, we were able to see that, oh, we're worth exactly, now I can charge $50,000. Now I can charge $100,000 for whatever, because we've been in the arena to where we put skin in the game to learn a skill from people who had answers that we didn't have, and that it could take us to that next level.
Yes.
We only went so far,
Yes.
and thank God for that, right? Because it was by His Spirit that gave us the ability to do it. But He also puts people in your life that says, hey, this person holds the key to your next level.
Absolutely.
Now go there. And that's what
Yes.
happens.
That's key right there, because what it caused us to do is what I'm going to tell you what this is going to cause you to do to get ready for what you're actually wanting to happen to take place for you for millions is once you get very clear, you start to build authority like we were saying, but not only the authority, you start to give people high value.
Yeah.
So this way you start to create high value offers for the people that you actually want to serve.
Yes.
That's when you start getting paid the big money.
Yep.
Is that when someone knows that they can come to you because you have a high value offer, and they know that when they are taking money out of their wallet to give to you, they know it's not money lost. They know that there's a return on their investment. And that's what happened to us. We knew that there was a return on our investment. We didn't look at it as, oh my God, we're spending all this money. We looked at it as, what are we going to gain?
Yeah.
We're excited for this new season.
You have to change the word from cost out of your vocabulary. What does it cost is a negative term. You're already looking at it as something negative.
Yeah.
You have to look at the transformation, the value. What's the
So
value
good.
of it, right? And what is it going to cost you not to do it? That's what you have to look at too, because that's going to give you motivation to do something. Here's an example for you. If I was to give you a $500,000 home, no, let's say $1 million home.
I want it.
Yeah. For $25,000. And you don't have $25,000, what are you going to do? You're going to find $25,000. You're going to call friends. You're going to call family.
Say
You're going to go
that.
to 100 different banks. You're going to dig in your yard for gold. You're going to pawn everything you have. Why? Because the value of the home is way more than the cost than you have to give to purchase it.
Right.
That's a biblical principle.
Yeah.
What happened when the person found that there was treasure in the ground? He sells everything he has
right.
because he knows what that land is going to produce.
That's
And
right.
so when someone offers you a course for or a coaching program for $25,000, you look at it as like, that is crazy. But guess what? That coaching program can get you to your first million. Is it worth it? It's the same scenario. House $1 million, cost $25,000. Coaching program, $25,000. Transformation, $1 million. It's the same scenario. It's the mindset.
I'm going to add to what you said. I'm trying to close it here, but I'm
No,
going
this
to
is-
add
this
to
is
what
good.
you said, because when you said you're going to find that 25,000, it reminded me of the story in the Bible with it was the Elisha story with the woman with the oil.
Yeah.
She had to use what she had. And then that oil began to multiply.
Yep.
When you use what you have already,
Yep.
and you're like, okay, I have this, now I'm going to go find a way to multiply it so I can actually live. This is how you have to look at it. You got to look at, I need to live. I need to build something. I need to grow, whatever I need to do. Once you start looking at that, you say, what do I have right now that's going to be able to help me make millions in the future?
Yeah.
Whether it's taking what you have and investing in coaching, investing in yourself, whether it's taking what you have already and you already know how to use it and getting in the digital space and getting online and starting to build that authority figure, starting to get clear on your message, target your niche right, give high value offers, use what you have right No.
Everybody has what they need for their future. Everybody. God gives seed to the sower.
Come on.
So it doesn't matter what stage in life you're in, you have what you need for your future, always.
That's so good.
Whether it's your words, whether it's your thoughts, whether it's actual monetary in value, there's seed somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you're starting saying, man, all I have monetarily is X amount of dollars, well, start changing your mindset so that you can actually create the money you need to invest in something to go to your future.
Yeah.
God does not leave you without seed. As long as the earth remains, there shall be seed time and harvest. There's always seed, but the devil wants to blind your eyes from what's before you. That's why Elisha and the widow woman, she had what she had, and it was able to produce and keep on producing. But guess what? It stopped after she brought so many jars. It stopped. But what happens if she kept bringing jars?
Keep going.
She could have limited herself by what? That's enough jars. Now, what if I want 50 jars? The oil could have kept going and going and going. You never know.
That is so good.
Yeah.
So y'all, this is your millionaire blueprint for 2025 and beyond. Just keep on building. Step into what you need to do for the right season, the right age, right?
That's right.
Digital age. And I would have to say this. So you just understand what we said here. Make sure you join the online revolution. Target your niche, know who they are, get clear on your messaging, and create high value offers. If you want people to pay you, you got to give value, right? You got anything to say?
Yeah, I got one more thing. This may spiral into something else, but
what is it?
Here's the mindset you need to change. Quit trying to sell to a lot of people and sell to just a few.
That's good.
And you'll make a lot more money. When you deal with people who just want $7, $20, $49, you got to sell thousands of them to make even a fraction of a profit. But the higher you raise your prices and you find that small group of people that's willing to say yes. Now, we said earlier it only takes 1,000 people at $1,000 to make $1 million.
Yeah.
It only takes 100 people at 10,000 to make that same million. Mm-hmm. Anybody can create a $10,000 transformation, and people are willing to pay for it.
They really are.
Make sure you subscribe, watch the channel, watch the previous videos, learn to be trained, comment what your thoughts are. We love you.
We love y'all. We love y'all. And make sure you leave a comment below and let us know how this helped you and what type of business do you have. We really want to know. All right, y'all have a good one.